Okay, hello friends. Welcome to our live lesson today, or our KTI English Preparation Center lesson. I will move straight in because I've got a lot of information for you today. Whoops, this one. Just in case you haven't met me before, I'm guessing you have, but I'm an instructor with KTI English Preparation Center in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and my name's Tammy. So I'm speaking very fast. I'm sorry. We've always talked in our previous videos about learning English is not simple. Yes, but this is the step you're taking. Mindset is half the battle. So let's do this together. Watching these videos, paying attention to English, wanting to do better, that's part of your mindset, right? So hang in there. Don't give up. I've had this one on a few slideshows now. It's one of my favorite little idioms. Hang in there, guys. So today's lesson is about pronunciation of silent letters. Yes, I said silent letters. And so you're going, huh? Silent means I'm not saying them, so I don't have to worry about them. Let me tell you why. Now, here's another idiom. When I was doing my research for this lesson snowballed on me. It got big very fast. I just kind of thought I was going to talk about a couple little letters that you have to remember. Well, there turns out there's a lot of them in English. And as a native speaker, I wasn't exactly sure until I started to research. So that's hence the speaking. Let's get moving here. So why do we need to know about the silent letters, the ones you don't say? Well, you don't hear them when you say them, but they're needed when you write the word. So this might be part of our speaking series to help you speak English more naturally or better, but you also need to write. And when you read them, it tells you the meaning of the word. Okay, so, I just said it. Silent letters help the reader tell the difference between our homophones. Homophones are words that sound the same, but they're spelled different and they mean different things. So, for example, we've got in and in. We've got the preposition in to be I'm in this room, in my office. But INN is the building, the business. That's kind of like a hotel. You book rooms to stay in for a night or two, or on holidays, right? You go to an inn to stay for holidays. So listening to the word, it sounds exactly the same. But when you're reading it, you can tell right away that we're talking about which word we're talking about. Same with be and be. The be verb, be, very, very commonly used in English, but bee, spelled the exact same, is the insect. The bees that buzz around the flowers and pollinate our flowers, right? Silent letters can help us tell the relationship between words, right? For example, this one, we've got the verb resign, to resign. You do not hear the G in that one, resign. But when we turn the word into an adjective or a noun, we do say it, resignation. I give you my resignation, which means I quit, right? Okay, and sometimes silent letters help us show which vowel sound we use. And in particular, the silent E makes the long vowel sound. So we'll go into that in more detail. Okay, some of our letters in our alphabet are not silent at all. So you don't have to worry. F, J, Q, R, and V, these ones you are always going to say their sound, their consonant sound. Some letters are silent in a few words. Like I even have one that has only one word I can think of. So these words, A, I, O, M, N, S, U, X, Y, and Z, they're like, M only has one word that it is silent in. And then some of them are in a few words here or there, not as common. But then there are some letters in our language that are silent in quite a few words. And when I was searching for all of them, it just, like I said before, it snowballed. It got bigger and bigger, and I didn't realize how many English words have silent letters. As a native speaker, I just, it's just normal. Sometimes these silent letters come with nice little rules to follow. Sometimes they don't. There's exceptions. So take a look at these. B, C, D, E, G, H, K, L, P, T, and W. All of these are going to have, the number of them have silent sounds. So let's kind of go through the ones that they don't have that many. So silent A, normally, most times, your A is going to have your two sounds, your short vowel sound, A, and the long vowel sound, A, where it says its name. It does combine with other vowels in digraphs and vowel pairs to make the long A sound, or kind of with R's, the R controlled vowel sound, but very rarely silent, okay? Except in words that end in the I-C-A-L-L-Y. We're going to kind of squish them together and not say the A. It's going to be silent. So, for example, listen, I got to be careful when I say this. Basically. So, basically, this is an easy lesson. You heard me, I didn't say basically. I'll say that when I'm trying to spell it or when I'm trying to emphasize it. But when I use it in speech, I just say it quickly. Basically, I say it without the A, right? Sporadically, we get ooh, sporadically, academically. Okay, so you can hear or you don't hear the A in those words. Silent I. This one, just in the one word that I can think of, that I did some research on, business. We go business. We don't say bus-inness. We don't say business. We say business. Okay, that's a tricky one. That's one you just kind of have to remember. Then we have a silent Y. Now, normally you're going to have the consonant Y sound, or it's going to say the E or the I sound, right? Because a Y can be a vowel sound as well. These ones are kind of tricky. And from the research I did, we learned it depends on your dialect or where you're from. But in the word prayer, you can hear me say it. So without the ER ending, when we talk about the verb to pray, the AY has that, it's that vowel pair that says the long A sound. When you put the ER on it to make it a noun, it becomes prayer. I don't really say the A sound, prayer. It's kind of got that R controlled vowel sound. In the word mayor, some people say it with the A, mayor. Some people say it without the A. Just kind of depends on where you're from and how quickly you're speaking, right? Silent M. This is one and only one word too. There's only one word that starts with a silent M that I can find. I might be wrong. It has a letter N that comes right behind it, and it's the word mnemonic. So we don't say mn and emonic. It's mnemonic. That's how you say it. That word actually means to do with the memory. We usually use it as an adjective when we say we use mnemonic devices to help us learn something new. Sometimes those are little songs that kids sing to learn the alphabet, right? Things that help us with our memory. Okay? Silent N. I've got these on the same page for a reason, because silent N is found in English words after an M. So with the exception of mnemonic. All the rest of them, let's take a look at some examples like autumn, column, hymn, solemn. We have the N for the spelling, but we do not say it. We do not say it. I thought I was on M again. Silent S. Okay, I'm going through these fairly quickly. Again, look back at this, make a list. I'll go over that at the end. I'm going through them fairly quickly because it's going to take me a while. S, not common to not have a sound with your S. We do have a few words, so just look at these. We've got island, aisle, and debris, or debris. Island, I always, to try and remember how to spell it when I was a kid, I would say island in my head, thinking it was a compound word, is and land. It's not, but because the S is silent. Island. The aisle, walking down the aisle at church, or what grocery aisle am I going to find the crackers on, right? Debris is like garbage or things that have broken off and pieces of things that are flying around that are not supposed to be there. So the debris from the car accident is still all in the ditch, right? We have silent X and Z. Now, don't be panicking about these because you're not going to find many English words with an X or a Z in them, for one. We've got a few, but it's not going to be silent unless we have found the word and adopted it from the French language. We really only find the silent X and silent Z when we have taken a word from the French language and using it in ours. So for example, faux. Faux has the X at the end. We don't say it at all. Faux means fake or not real, and it comes from the French language. The Z in rendezvous and laissez-faire, rendezvous, laissez-faire. We say the Z in the S's part, but where the Z is in the word, we don't say it. It's laissez-faire. You can look up those meanings, but they come from the French word, and we use them in English. So now, our more commonly found letters as silent letters. These ones we have a lot more words, and these ones sometimes have the rules I was telling you about. Okay, so silent B. Silent B, yeah, we do have some words that end in a silent B. Most times, the silent B is preceded by the letter M, and it's usually at the end of a word. So we have MB at the end of a word. We don't say the B. So take a look at these. For example, climb, comb, crumb, thumb, lamb, limb. My arm is my limb. Numb. Oh, my finger is numb after it's been out in the cold, right? When we add our endings to these words with the silent B at the end, it just depends. Like, for example, if climb, to climb is a verb. If I'm going to change it to a noun, like the mountain climber scaled up the mountain, I'm still going to leave it as a silent B. Comb. I'm going to be combing my hair in the morning, or I'm combing my hair. We still have the silent. But if we change it to an adjective or an adverb, like for example, crumb can become crumbly. That's an adverb. So the crumbly muffin was all over my lap. Then I add the B sound back. But thumb, still stay silent, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. We also have some silent letters in the middle of words, and these ones can be kind of tricky to remember. So our B is silent in the middle of debt. So money that you owe or time that you owe, you are in debt. Doubt, a feeling of not knowing the answer or not knowing what to do. I doubt I will finish this in half an hour. Doubt. Subtle. We don't say the B at all in those. Okay. Silent C. These ones are easier to remember because we have an S in front of it. An S always becomes before the silent C, except when it's the blend sk. So we have to be careful. So let's just look at some examples. Science. Ascent, to go up something. Descend, to go down something. Disciple. Discipline, same thing. Fascinate. Scissors. When I was learning how to spell, and I always tell my young students this too, I say it in class, get out your skizzers, guys. I say the sk blend just to my little kids and you to know how to spell it, right? When we're first learning how to spell, those silent letters often escape our writing. So I'll say them in my head jokingly to myself now for science and skizzers, but I don't say them out loud. I just say them to spell them. So just in here. Here's where we have the blends: scare, scalpel, scab. We do say the SC together when it's the blend, but there are silent places where that C is not said and it's still with an S. So these are hard to remember. Easy to remember, I said, but hard at the same time. Silent D. Okay, usually the D is silent when we have ending DGE or the little word and. When and is in the middle of a word and spoken quickly. Now, sometimes I teach this a little different. Let me just go to the next little slide here. So I teach this as the DGE, as this is an example of this silent letter D is telling us that we need the different sound for the G. Okay, so bridge has the soft G sound. I think I'll do another video on the soft and hard sounds of consonants because G and C are ones that are confusing sometimes. So we say the D is silent in these and we just have the soft G sound. Bridge, edge, ledger. Okay, I skipped this one. And sometimes we skip the D sound or we leave it off, leave it silent on words like handkerchief. I don't say handkerchief. I say handkerchief. Handsome. Sometimes when I'm exaggerating the word or when I'm thinking of how to spell it, I'll say, he was a very handsome man. But when you say it in your speech, it'll just be handsome. Wednesday is one, again, that I say in my head, Wednesday, just to spell it. It's that D. There's no rule for that. That's one you remember. Wednesday. We don't say the D. Here's some that people will say with the D or without the D. Handful. I had a handful of almonds for snack, or I had a handful of almonds for snack. It depends. Both are correct. Grandson or grandson. Again, if you're emphasizing, you will say the D. If you're trying to spell it, you will say the D. But often when we're speaking, we just, oh, my grandson came over last night, brought me some flowers, right? Granddaughter, we do the same thing. There's two D's in that granddaughter. It sounds like, but we just get rid of one D, granddaughter, right? Sandwich, sandwich. Some people do specifically say the D in that one. When you're saying it quickly, I need to go to Subway and get a sandwich, you omit the D sound. Silent E, this is the big one. This is the one that I thought would be the only one I was really telling you about. And this one's basically pretty easy. I think most of you know it already, or I'm guessing you do. The silent E changes small words and tells us how to pronounce the vowel. So again, we've talked about A, E, I, O, U, and then sometimes Y. When we've got a silent, so short vowel sounds are by themselves in words like this: hat, lead, bit, cod, cut. Okay, we get the short vowel sound. Long vowel sounds come when we put a silent E at the end. And that, then we often talk about that E jumping over the consonant and making it say its name, okay? So for example, when you put an E on the end of hat, it becomes hate. You can hear the difference in the vowel sound. A. Lead becomes lead. Bit becomes bite. Cod becomes code. Cut becomes cute, okay? Again, I said there's we say that that silent E sound will jump over one consonant letter. So it'll go over the T to the A and make it say its name. It'll go over this D to this E and make it say its long name sound instead of the short sound. All right. Exceptions, of course. I'm getting used to saying this. There's exceptions all the time. We have the word have and give. So we've got the noun or the vowels. Verbs. Sorry. We have the verbs have and give. They're probably the two most common rule breakers for this one. We spell them with the silent E, but we say them with the short vowel sound. Okay? And again, that silent E can only jump over one consonant to make the vowel say its name. So here's some examples. Large. We have the R controlled vowel in this one. It's not going to jump over the R and the G to say large. It's not going to say its own name. Budge. Now, DG says just the soft G sound. D is silent in this one, isn't it? But it's still two letters. So we don't jump over two letters and say booge. It's still budge. I don't want to budge. I'm staying put. I'm right here. Dance, same thing. It's not going to jump over two and make the A say its name. Silent G, there's quite a few with silent G, but there's a pattern to these ones. So when it's found with a GN, you always are going to hear the N sound. The G is going to be silent. And together with an H, the G and the H will be silent. So let's look. We've got assign. So you don't hear the G at all. I'm going to assign you some homework. Design. I want to design a new office space. Foreign. We want to travel to foreign countries again. Right? Gnat. That's a tiny little bug. Annoying little things. Sign. High. Light. All of these, you don't hear the G or the H. You just hear the long I sound. High, light, sight. Through, the OU says the oo sound. The double vowel OU says the ah sound in this one. Thought. We do have words where you do say the G and the N together, but they are less likely. Ignore. I'm going to ignore the behavior of that puppy in the yard. Magnificent, wonderful, fantastic, magnificent, okay? Oh, silent H popped up, let's see. Most often, words with a CH will have a silent H when it doesn't say ch. Okay, I'll show you examples. I'm confusing you on that one. Or in WH words. Now, I talked about this in a previous video. So we often say CH can have two sounds, right? It can say the k or hard C sound in which the H is silent, or it can say the TCH, ch, ch sound. So whenever you see CH, you know you've got one of those options, k or ch. These are the ones where we have the k sound. The H is silent. C can say the K sound. Anchor, chaos, character, chemical. Okay. In WH words, we really only hear the W. Where, which, why. I did say in a previous video when I was talking about how to make sure you don't say the V sound for W, to try and say to emphasize the with it, the H sound. So some people do, it depends on where you live in the world. Some people do speak with a little bit more of an H sound on it. It's not completely silent. And it almost is like the H sound comes before the W. So they say which, where, why. And I did say if you want to make sure you're saying the W, try and emphasize it with the H sound in it. But Normally, it's said in Canadian English without the H, just which. Okay? We do have some silent H's at the beginning of our words. Not very many. Most times the H will say, we have hour. It's the homophone, the hour on the clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Or without the H, hour is the pronoun for us, right? Or the possessive for us. Honest, honor, those have a silent H at the beginning. There are words, herb, H-E-R-B, so things that the herbs, the plants that we grow and use in our cooking and for medicines and things. Herbs, sometimes people pronounce those without the H. It just depends on where you live. So we talk about herbs or herbal tea instead of herbal tea. I say herbal, but lots of people say herbal tea. So there's another silent H at the beginning of words. Silent K. Oh, I can see I've gone well over 30 minutes here, or just about 30 because I did have a little bit of time. I'll kind of speed talk. Silent K. There are some English words that start with a silent K. Easy to remember because the N comes with it. Okay? Knack, new, no, knock, knuckle. All right? Silent L. Try and go through these quickly. These are just ones you have to remember, okay? There's no real rule on this one. So we've got would, should, could, those three rhyming ones. We don't hear the L in it. Would, should, could. We have words like calf, half, the fish, salmon. It's not salmon, it's salmon. Talk, walk. Those have the aw sound and the K. Yolk, so the yellow part of an egg, the yolk is healthy for you. Okay, those are silent K examples. Silent P. Some words in English start with silent P. I'll give you an example or some examples. They sometimes are easier to remember. Sometimes this might be confusing for you. It's paired with another consonant, but it's not one of the blends, like not the PL, PR, or SP. So we've got psychology, PS, pneumonia, PN, ptarmigan, which is a type of bird, no P sound, we just say ptarmigan, psalm, pseudo, and then we have ones like receipt and raspberry. Now the S in this one kind of says a Z. Some people say raspberry, but it's very hard to say P and B together because your mouth does the exact same thing, but you have to go from voiceless to voiced without moving your lips because they're doing the same thing. So that one's very hard to say raspberry close together. What else? What are we on here? We do have the words where we say the P. So here we've got a PT at the end of the word that you do say the P. It's not silent. Concept, spark, place. These are the blends when we've got the SP blend and the PL blend. So PS is not a blend. The P is silent. Okay? Silent T. Most often found in words ending in STEN or STLE. So we'll just take a look at a couple of these. So we've got bristle, castle, fasten, glisten, hustle, listen, and moisten. So you can see I've kind of underlined all of those. The STLE or STEN usually has the T, not saying anything. Here's a word that can be both silent T or spoken T. Often. I often say often instead. So it just depends. If I'm emphasizing again or thinking about the spelling, I'll go often. But often is your common way to say it in speech. Silent U. again, we've got this silent U helps us show where we have the hard consonant sounds. So in this case, we've got the word guest. It's not jest, it's guest, because that silent U is making us say the hard G sound. This word is jest, and that's like a tale or a story. Honestly, I don't use this word, jest. I don't use that word in my everyday language, but guest I do. So some other examples: biscuit, build, disguise, guess, guide, rogue, silhouette, silhouette, right? We don't say ow or ooh, it's silhouette. Colleague, you don't hear the U sound, the or the oo sound. Now we have a silent W, often found in words that have an R with it, okay, at the beginnings of words, mostly. So we have wrap. I want to wrap your birthday present in beautiful paper. Wrath, wreath, write. Please write a nice letter. Or wrong. I don't want to be wrong. We do have some where it's in the middle of the words. So this word, awry, it's not aw-re. That AW doesn't say the vowel pair sound. It says awry. We've got sword, answer, and the homophone to. So if you're familiar with the other twos, we have TO, going to the store, TOO, I love you too much, and we needed a new spelling for the number 2. So we threw in a silent W in there, okay? Oh, I'm at the end. Sorry this is taking so long, but as I told you, the lesson snowballed on me. So how to practice? I've said this before, so I'm going to go through these quickly. You want to practice every day. You want to listen. Go back in this video or watch some other videos. I've tagged some good ones on the end slide. Make out some lists. Write out some lists of these words, example words that have silent letters in them, and practice spelling them, right? Most of all, stay positive. You can do this. The more we practice, the more we progress. So our credits page. Now, I did mention I watched a couple of YouTube videos. I've got them tagged on the bottom here. Always thanks to Slides Carnival for making this template so I could make it a little bit nicer than just me on the screen. I did go to this website. Like I said, I had to do some research. letslearnenglish.com had some really good information for me, which I used to make this presentation. So you can check that out if you want. These 2 YouTube videos, Silent Letters in English, A to Z Rules from English with Max. She is a British speaker, so you will hear the British accent. Again, the words are very much the same. We do say the vowels sometimes a little differently, but she has a very good video. Silent Letters in English from Espresso English was also a good one too. That's an American version, so you hear the American which sounds a little more Canadian. It's not a Southern American, it's definitely more of a Canadian sounding video. So there's 2 good videos to look at. And again, thanks for joining us. Check us out on these social media pages and at our website if you have any questions. And I'm going to stop because I've kept you for too long this time. Next video, I promise, will be less than half an hour. All right. Have a great week. I'll see you next week, everybody. I gotta find my cursor. Bye.